Welcome to the Tales from the Shark Tank podcast, your new pod for everything Wilmington Sharks. I'm your host, Lance Williams. In this episode, I'm joined by East Stroudsburg University utility player, Jack Rothenhausler. Jack, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
First off, have you ever done a podcast before?
Not as formal one as this. Definitely have not done a podcast.
How can you do an informal podcast? Is that possible?
I don't know. I've had a lot of interviews with like news people. I guess I kind of consider that a podcast. Not really, but just a lot of different interviews.
Okay. So some media experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of media experience.
So it's your second year in the Coastal Plain League. Last year you were with the Wilson Tobs. What was that experience like with them?
The Wilson Tobs, that was a really cool place. I mean, just the fans there are very into it. They love baseball down there, and they get into it, and they love chirping the other team. So it's always crazy going back playing there because they get into you. Then it's a little different.
Okay, and then you were with the Tobs last year. You mentioned even going back this year. You played there twice now. What was the process coming here to Wilmington, recruiting, that sort of thing?
Well, one of my coaches at East Stroudsburg, Nate Fiala, he actually was a coach at the Tobs and then made a connection with Russ, and he helped me get down to the Wilmington Sharks. And, that's kind of how I made my way down to Wilmington, just a different scenery.
And then last year you had one home run. It was against the Sharks, correct?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So did you think of that at all when you decided to come over here to Wilmington?
I did, and the crazy part about that home run is I hit a home run this year the same day as I did last year, my only home run last year. So I definitely had a couple good games last year against the Sharks, and it was definitely weird playing again or now with them. So
Yeah, I believe that was June 8th at Greenville, and you had a 3-home run game. There were 3 2-run homers at Greenville. Again, Greenville, a shallow park, but even still 3 home runs. Had you ever seen a 3-home run game in person, let alone do that?
I've only seen one other 3-run home run game. I've actually had a 4-home run game once in high school.
Wow.
But it was I had like 2 inside the park home runs. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you count that as a 4-home run game or not, but I counted it.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a 4-home run game. I guess, yeah, with inside the Parkers, I guess that can make it more possible.
We played at a big park, so
Okay.
it was hard.
Huh. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go on Baseball Reference for a lot of the stats. It's a good way to organize this. And there's another Jack Rothenhausler on Baseball Reference. He's from the same area. But is he your grandfather? Is that correct?
Yeah, his real name's John, but they
Right.
called him Jack, and that's how he kind of went by.
And so he had served in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing life, it looks like. And then he had 9 years in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
All around. So what impact did he have on your baseball career?
He has a huge impact on my baseball career. I mean, he died when I was younger, but I was probably about 14, maybe 13 when he passed away. So all that baseball leading up to that, he really helped me, and not only me, my dad, who was also a great baseball player, played in the minors as well. He so just my grandpa teaching my dad, and then my dad teaching me, it kind of just spiraled down, and 2 big role models in front of me.
That's pretty amazing. So 3 years or 3 generations of baseball players.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball is such a historic game, and that family connection is pretty amazing. And so you talk about family of athletes. It looks like I was reading you were a 3-sport athlete in high school. Is that correct? You were a linebacker and then state runner-up in golf. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah, I also played on the JV basketball team.
Okay, so 4.
And was on the JV wrestling team for a year.
Oh man!
Yeah.
How did you have time for all that?
Well, my coaches at my high school for football, they weren't too happy when I played golf because I would have to miss a couple practices. But after that, then basketball, I mean, I just did that during the winter, and then I stopped doing that. Then I went to wrestling, so I was busy all year round.
Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy balancing all those sports. obviously, like in college, you're probably not playing too much football. You still golfing a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I definitely get out there. I get my shots in. I play with whenever we have time. Any off day, really, I go out, try and play. I'm not as good as I was, but
Yeah.
I still try.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Wilmington, it's a great area. Lots of things to do. Obviously, the summer baseball season, it's such a grind. You have games every day. You have a game tonight. In your free time, what do you like to do?
See, I really love, in my free time down here, I really love going fishing. I like fishing off the pier. I mean, me and a couple of guys, we all go out and we like to catch sharks and just other little fish. I also go with my host dad. Every Monday, we go out on his boat and we fish off the boat. So that's really cool.
Huh. That's awesome. Obviously, host families are so great, and having one with the boat, that must be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
So
out Al.
yeah,
Best fishing partner.
best fishing partner. Yeah, you're catching Wilmington Sharks off the piers. That's got to be fun. I talk to the players a lot about fishing. I'm not much of a fisherman. I wish I was. And so when I'm talking about fishermen with them, your name seems to always get brought up. So who do you think would be the top 3 anglers on the team?
Oh, top 3 anglers. I'm going to have to put myself there.
Number 1?
Number 1. I'm going to have to go number
Okay.
1. I'm going to also put Tyler Sickles on there. He went fishing. I went fishing with him the other night. He caught 2 pretty decent-sized sharks off the pier.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have to put them up there. He's a dedicated fisherman. And at the number 3 spot, wow. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go Benny Wilson. He catches me my bait. He's pretty good at getting a little fish for me. So
Okay. Huh.
yeah, I'll put Benny Wilson there.
He's a little pinfish master.
He's the pinfish master. That's what I call.
Pinfish master. Okay. Huh. That's funny. And so you're from Bethlehem, PA. That's what, right near Allentown?
Yep. Right
So
next
that's
downtown.
yeah. So there's not really much salt water there. Where do you get your fishing fix there? Is it freshwater? You go on trips? What's going on?
So I'm actually lucky. Me and my cousin, we always go fishing right at this. It's called the Lehigh River.
Okay.
And so we sometimes go in the river, but we mostly go in the canal that's next to it. And they stock trout in there all the time. And so we normally go fishing there. And I also have a lake house at Lake Wallenpaupack. So I'm always fishing off the boat up there and freshwater, catching smallmouth bass, walleye, stuff like that. So there's a lot of fishing going on around me.
Huh. Yeah. Obviously, you said you put yourself top 1 in terms of fishermen on the team. I've got people backing that sort of stuff up. So that's pretty fun. And in addition to fishing, you have many talents that I've heard of. Yeah, cutting hair.
Yeah.
You've been the team's barber as of late. When did you start cutting hair? What was the motivation to start doing that?
So the reason I started cutting hair was my teammate at East Stroudsburg. I guess his younger brother, they're twins, so he was the younger brother. I started cutting his hair, and shout out Matt, thank you for that. I started cutting his hair, and then it kind of came out good, so I started doing it to the rest of the guys on the team, and I kind of just learned on the way, and I just ended up becoming good at it. So I just kept it going.
So that's how many years ago, probably?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So got a couple years under your belt.
Couple years under my belt. I wouldn't say I'm a seasoned veteran, but
Okay.
get the job done.
You're getting the job done. Yeah, I've seen some of the cuts. Who all have you cut? I think DiMucci, Jenkins. Who else? Is that it?
Yeah, DiMucci, Jenkins. I cut BJ.
The buzz cut?
The buzz cut. Yeah.
Okay.
I cut Benny Wilson. I don't know if I'm missing someone. That might be it, but
Okay.
there could be another guy.
That's funny.
Cam Hassert.
Cam Hassert. Okay.
I gave him a little trim up. That's
I didn't
all
see that.
That's all he wanted. Yeah, just a little trim up.
Huh. Yeah. Cutting hair, fishing. Do you have any other hobbies, both here in Wilmington and then back home at school, back home in general?
I don't think I do. I mean, I do a lot of other things, but I would say those are my main hobbies I have. Yeah.
Well, I mean, baseball, it's such a grind, both the college season and then coming here for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Get times to go fishing, get times to cut hair. There's probably not much.
Yeah, there's not
besides
much
yours.
time to do other things.
Huh. Yeah, well, when you played, what, 5 sports in high school, I'm sure you have some good time management
Yeah.
skills. So, you're also a very funny guy. I think a lot of people would say you're probably one of the funniest guys on the team. Part of that is because of your talent to make a number of voices. When did that start, and could we potentially hear some of those voices?
Wow. I couldn't even tell you when it started. I kind of just started picking up on just different voices, like in a couple different movies, like 21 Jump Street or whatever it is, when the one guy goes, "My name's Jeff." I just stuff like that. I think that stuff's funny, so I like doing it, and it makes other people laugh. So I like to
Yeah.
get that out there and do it. And
Okay, so we got the top 3 fishermen. What top 3 funny on the team? I'm sure you'd be up there as well.
top 3 funny. I guess I'm gonna have to put myself up there. I mean, I make a lot of guys laugh. I would have to say Luke Jenkins is
Yeah.
one of the funnier kids on the team. I mean, he is just a funny cat, and he's just a happy guy. He's always laughing, so it's a hard time not to have a good time with him. There's a lot of funny guys. I mean, Matt Gillespie,
Yeah.
Aiden's funny. There's just so many people. There's not a day where I come to the ballpark and I'm not laughing. It's just they always got something funny to say.
Yeah, I mean, Wilmington, a gorgeous area, great environment, and then all the guys are just having a great time, and that always seems to be the case. Yeah, you mentioned Mac. Those UNCW guys, they're a funny bunch for sure.
Oh yeah.
So you go to East Stroudsburg, you're going into it, what, your senior year?
Senior year, yeah.
Senior year. Yeah, they're in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, and so there's some other guys from that conference, Gannon University guys, Westchester. Did you know those guys before you got here?
So I knew a couple of the Westchester kids, Laser, kid that was on the team, Gannon, Avery, Noga. I mean, all these guys, we played against them 5 or 6 times this year. So, I mean, I'm used to seeing them, seeing what they do, and it's kind of crazy because that's kind of our rival back at school. So
Okay.
it's funny playing with them now and just hanging out with them. And now we're buddies when we were rivals a month earlier. You know what I mean? It's definitely crazy.
What's it going to be like when you're playing them next spring?
There's going to be too many chirps at that game. I mean, now that I know them, it's going to be even more funny. It's going to make the game a lot more relaxed when we play them because it's always a tense game because they're a rival, and that's just how rival games are. So I think it's going to be a lot more fun.
Yeah, a lot of Westchester guys, guy from Gannon and Jake Engel. So is it PSAC or PSAC? How's it?
We just say PSAC.
PSAC.
PSAC East, PSAC West.
Okay, so the PSAC, they're well represented with the Sharks for sure. And you were on Perfect Game. You were listed as right-handed pitcher, first baseman, outfielder. I saw you had a 2.53 ERA or something your senior year. You were a decent pitcher, right?
Yeah, I actually so I got recruited as a pitcher to pretty much every other school that I got offered besides East Stroudsburg. So I wouldn't even be hitting right now if it wasn't for Coach K giving me the shot. See, it was opposite. He didn't think I could pitch. He thought I can hit, but the other coaches, they thought I could pitch. I mean, I guess he just saw something in me, and I guess it ended up working out. Yeah.
Well, there was the one exhibition game. I forget the exact date, but you got a chance to go on the mound, and I think you hit, 85 or something, I told you?
Yeah, I hit 85 or 86. It was one of them.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. I haven't pitched in a couple of years. The arm was definitely sore after that.
I mean, that's pretty crazy from a position player. What was your max velo when you were taking the bump?
I wasn't a velo guy. I would say probably 90 miles per hour.
Okay.
I wouldn't go over that. I had a good curveball though.
Yeah.
I had a 4-pitch mix, so. Yeah. I wouldn't say I was a velo guy. I was a crafty little righty.
What was your thought process when Russ told you to get on the mound that one exhibition game? Were you excited?
Well, I've been begging him because last year for the Tobs, I started warming up in the pen. I was gonna go in for them, and they ended up turning a double play, and I didn't end up coming in.
Huh.
It was one of our last games that I was down there, and so then just coming into Wilmington, I was in Russ's ear the whole time. I said I gotta get a pitch in. I've been telling all these guys that I used to pitch, and they don't believe me. So I had to get in. I was excited. I was pumped up. So
What did what did the guys in the dugout? What did Russ say after you came out off the mound?
Russell, so the first thing Russ said to me is, "Hey, I gave you your shot," because I will say it wasn't the best performance. I came in, my first batter, I hit him. I gave up a hit. I ended up getting a couple outs. You know, my defense was great behind me, so it was definitely fun doing that.
That's funny. Yeah. What's your relationship like with Russ as the manager?
Me and Russ are cool. We share a common, like, we like to make fun of our assistant coach, Reese Sabo.
Yeah.
So me and Russ, we tend to laugh at that. He likes when I do my impressions on Sabo. So me and Russ we're close. We're good. He's a good guy. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Sabo. He's a funny guy as well, and yeah, he's the first year hitting coach. What do you make of the assistants, Austin Skipper and Sabo, both being first year coaches?
Oh, I think they're great team guys. I mean, Sabo, there's no one more dedicated to the game that I've seen as a coach. Like he's really, and he wants us to win probably more than we want us to win. He's a great dude. And Skipper, he's really good with the pitchers. He wants to work with them. He wants to see guys get better. That's how this whole coaching staff is. They just want to see you get better, and you know, they're just great dudes to hang out with outside of baseball too. So I really appreciate them and what they do for us.
Yeah, they both played multiple years here with Wilmington, so they really know what it takes to win in this area and how to succeed in this area. And they're also younger guys, so I imagine that can help relate.
Yeah, we all just have a close connection. I mean, they play Mafia with us on the bus, so I mean, doesn't really get much more fun than that. It's pretty cool having them.
Yeah, you brought up Mafia, so they do that on the back of the bus on the road trips back. You're one of the many, but I feel like you're always the narrator somehow, right?
Yeah, so me and Luke Jenkins, we're always the narrators. I mean, we
No one else, just you two?
Yeah, that's the only two that have done it down here. We just kind of have funny stories to go along with things, and the guys just tend to like it, so it's fun when things are fun during Mafia.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the game that you had 3 home runs against Greenville, you didn't have your voice, and that was because you were being the narrator, right?
So the night before, we had an away game, and we were playing Mafia on the way back, and I wouldn't say it was the most smooth Maf game. I was screaming my head off, and the next day, woke up, had no voice. I wasn't able to speak, so.
Huh.
Yeah.
You might have to lose your voice again if it causes you to hit 3 home runs.
I might have to do it. Maybe I'll lose it tonight.
That would be something, yeah. You mean, you're tied at 4 home runs. It's tied for the team lead. You're having a great season there with the Sharks. Jack, I mean, you're a very interesting guy. You have all these talents, the voices, the fishing, the haircuts. Would you have any advice for me as a novice fisherman, or for anyone listening, to get better at fishing?
You just got to go out there. I mean, fishing, there's a lot of patience involved. I mean, I don't know how I do it because I can barely sit still, but I don't know what it is about fishing. You just got to enjoy being there, and hey, maybe something will happen. You can't just give up if you don't catch something the first time. So I would just say patience is key.
Yeah.
Ask around. Ask different people what their advice are on different fish to catch and where you're at. A lot of local people, they know what they're talking about. So ask those guys, and hey, you'll have some success.
And so I know a lot of guys, they surf as well. Do you do any surfing down here?
I don't do any surfing. Guys have asked me. I just have bad luck. It's just the reason why I don't ski. I just think I'm going to get hurt somehow.
Yeah.
Especially catching the fish. I mean, I'm catching sharks right where people are surfing.
Right.
So I don't know how I feel about that either.
Sharks might take it personally. You never
They
know.
might. They might get their get back on me.
Might get their get back. Well, Jack, I mentioned you're a very talented guy. And I'm very thankful for having you on this podcast. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So that's episode 4 of Tales from the Shark Tank with Jack Rothenhausler.